Okay, we have members from the 72 team, the 86 Grey Cup team that won in Vancouver, and the 99 Grey Cup team, which we won in Winnipeg. No, that was Vancouver too. That was Vancouver also, doing it? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going to independently talk to each one of these players and get their reactions to them playing in the Grey Cup. If I can find my sheet. Oh, whose are these? Which are these? No, they're not mine. These are not mine. Here.
Drop your drink tickets.
Yeah.
Tell them it's half of. Tell them it's half of fucking Riley's speech.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. You got it.
They put my glasses on. You guys are bad. Bad. Okay, is Tony here? There he is. Okay, we're going to start with the 1972 team. We have Bobby Krouse. That's not mine. Tony Gabriel, Garney Henley. And we're going to ask them a series of questions. How they felt about the Grey Cup. Okay, good. All right.
Is this on? Yes, it is.
Sorry. That's okay. You're good. You're good. Okay, first questions. Okay, gentlemen, and fans, listen here for a moment.
What do you remember the best plays or something like that?
Here's your question. Greatest strengths and weaknesses of your concerns going into the game. Your strength versus the opponent. What was your biggest concern playing Saskatchewan in the 72 Grey Cup? I'll go with Garney here.
I'm not sure, but I think it was Ronnie Lancaster, probably.
I agree.
Yeah.
George Reed. George Reed.
Couple of Hall of Famers.
You're right, and their defense was very tough.
Very tough.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bob?
The pick play.
The pick play?
Yeah, they always pick you.
Go ahead, Tony.
They had a very stodgy defense as well. We were tied, I think, 10-10 for most of the second half, right? And Garney, Dave Fleming, and Tommy Joe were our main receivers. They were doing a great job. I think Chuck, who had to leave to go to a Toronto appointment, he'll tell you, he and I had fairly good chemistry, but we never even looked at each other that 59 minutes. That was a problem, but it was nice to be able to contribute in the end.
Yeah, with a great combination of guys who were on that team. I got to go to Dave Fleming, and him and Ange are kind of close buddies, weren't they? Him and Dave Fleming were both pretty good buddies on that team. So let's see what Bobby has to say. Okay, Bob, your greatest memory of that game, 1972, at home, playing Saskatchewan.
My greatest memory was, well, of course, when I blocked a punt.
That was incredible.
Yeah, and then we touched it again. But, the greatest memory was we were two very, very close teams. And I really, honestly felt a lot of empathy for the other team. I love winning.
Right.
But it was one of the first games I felt so much empathy for the other team.
You blocked 2 punts that game.
I blocked 2.
And the block punch.
That to me,
that's a turning point right there.
Yeah,
the turning point of the game.
Yeah,
the block punch. Yeah. Okay, and the greatest locker room story you guys have, maybe before or after that game. After the game, in the locker room, at Ivor Wynn, what was going on in that locker room as Grey Cup champions in your hometown?
The one thing that I remember was, if Chuck was here, I was dousing him with champagne over his head. But the one thing that I do recall, and it's been in the paper, I think, where they had Ange Mosca and Dave Fleming together, and Angie kissed Fly. We called him the Fly. But he kissed him.
On the lips.
On the lips.
right?
Awesome. It was great. I wanted to be there too.
Anyways, you had to be there. And once again, we're back.
They're back.
Yeah,
again.
baby.
There we go. Okay, we're going to move on to the 86 team. For now, we'll come back to you guys. 86, then 99. Yeah. Okay, here we are. We got Miles Gorell
All right,
and Jason Riley. We don't have any defensive personnel here. Where did Les go?
Les had to go home.
Les had to go home. Okay. Anybody else here from the 99 Grey Cup team on the defensive side of the ball? 86 team. I'm sorry, 86. 86. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, greatest strengths and weaknesses going into the game. 1986.
The what?
Strengths and weaknesses of each team.
Oh, the strengths and weaknesses. Well, Edmonton was the big bad machine, and they were going to win no matter what. They were 15-point
Get out of the way here.
favorites. So we played the role of the underdogs. And we had a group of veterans that wasn't scared of anything, and we had Grover Covington and Mike Walker, Ben Zambiezi and Paul Bennett, Les Brown. Oh, Les was hurt. Well, we had a great defense, and we weren't worried about Edmonton's offense.
Our kicker wasn't too bad either that day.
Yeah, Ozzie was pretty good that day,
I think he was 6 for 6 field goals, and
yeah, he was
and
pretty
punted
good.
the ball pretty
but
good.
he's just a kicker.
But they blocked a punt on him. I can't remember what
He's
what
just
quarter
a
that
kicker.
was. But
We don't count kickers in games.
No
We don't.
kicker.
No kickers. You know, we had a great defense.
Yeah. Jason.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if we had finished a few more of those drives, Ozzie wouldn't have broke the record for kicks in a Grey Cup.
That's right.
But no,
Kerrigan
our
stepped
strength-
up. Mike played well the last 2 weeks of the season. That total points game was the biggest thing. Us getting there was the biggest deal. You know.
You know what? Our
He was
defense
playing- he was on
chased
that other
Damon
team.
Allen out of
Damon
the
was on
game.
the,
I think that's
86
what happened.
team.
But the O-line, guys, we only gave up one sack, Damon. And
we got Damon Allen here who played on the 86.
Edmonton gave up about 9 sacks, I think, and we gave up
I
one.
think Damon career throwing the ball, passing the ball records are and rushing the ball like 84,000 yards is like a combination record for all professional football. And then Anthony Kabil's here. Anthony threw for like 76,000 yards in the CFL, and I believe he's second right now behind Damon. But I don't know what Tom Brady's got right now. No? I don't know. Okay. Right. But what I like about the 86 team that we had so much controversy going on and tragedy. King Clancy had passed away that week before. Remember going into the 2 weeks before. It was
King
horrible.
Clancy passed away. The entire team went to the funeral, and we wore shamrock on our helmets for the entire season. And we actually have a shamrock on the Grey Cup ring in honor of King Clancy.
And it's on our
our Grey Cup
1986 ring. It's on
That's
the Grey
right.
Cup ring, the shamrock for King Clancy. And then, of course, Harold Ballard was the owner, and the celebration we had after was quite moving in that Holiday Inn. But the one thing I remember that was kind of funny was that somebody stole our video machines that whole week. Our video tape cassette players were stolen out of the hotel, so you guys couldn't even watch the game. Couldn't go back and study the opponents because it was all gone. There was nothing we could put them on. So. Okay, 1999. We got Rob Hitchcock, Andrew Grigg.
Hello.
Danny McManus was here. Where's Danny? Where's Danny? Danny here. Oh, Trevor, come on up here. No. Come on up, Trevor.
Where were you?
1999. Trevor Shaw.
Jesus.
Slotback,
Get
wide
your shit
receiver.
together, eh? We're running Whopper right now. You know what you're doing?
Who else is here? Anybody else from 99 I hadn't seen? Okay. First question to Mr. Hitchcock. Greatest strength and weakness going into the game. Biggest concern. What was the biggest concern that we were worried about?
Well, I can be honest with you. after losing the 98 Grey Cup to Calgary in the last second field goal, there was no weaknesses we had going into the 99 Grey Cup when we played them. So we went in, we knew they had a great team, but we knew from day one at training camp, and these guys will attest to it, we said from day one that there was nothing, we were going to take nothing less than a Grey Cup win, and we did it.
The offense performed, and that receiver named Flutie played pretty well that day too, didn't he?
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, they're not bad.
It was not bad, not bad. Calvin Tiggle defense was really strong. Joe Mumford, nice crew. Okay, Andrew.
Hello.
Greatest memory on a big play of the game or one play of the game that was like a turning point?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. My biggest memory of the game was, so Paulo Spallo said, I'll have to give you a little fucking, sorry. Oh, I said out loud, oh, hey, oh. So I got a little backstory here. So Paulo Spallo and I were roommates. So Ozzy, the last time he won the Grey Cup was 1986 in Vancouver at BC Place. And he said to me, he goes, well, I'm doing the same thing we did then this year. And I go, well, what's that? And he said, we're taking a limo, picked us up, just the two of us, picked us up, drove us to, I don't know, 20 seconds away, got out, go through the stadium, we get in, and he goes, we're good now. Ozzy's like, we're good now. Like, he was like almost like this, yeah, it was like a calming thing where he was kind of like, this is what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna do it. And he's my roommate, and believe me, you do not want me to tell you stories about Ozzy and me as roommates. Zero stories. I could start now, though, if you like. No, anyways, it was a complete. We got out of the limo, got in. We're the first two guys in the locker room, and he goes, "This reminds me of '86." And I'm like, "'86." I'm like, "This is '99." Like, what was I like? '86? I might have been grade 10. It was insane, but it was like, this is what we're gonna do. And when we walked on that field, we already knew, I think, as a team, flat out, we knew as a team that there's not a chance we're losing this. Put it this way, you should get asked these questions to Calgary, how scared they were to play us. Because after losing to them in '98, there was not a chance that was happening again. It was
And that was
just a forgotten, anomaly, right?
Yeah, I won't even talk how disappointed we all were in that Winnipeg and that '98.
We should have won that too, but we didn't. And
We did
the next year.
Best team wins on that day, right? Trevor, what are your thoughts on like the greatest after the game or pre-game in the locker room? Just what was going on? Anything jump out at you? Guys quiet or? Because I'm rarely in there. I'm always somewhere else, and I don't know what the reaction is to those guys.
Mike, thanks. I remember Calvin Tiggle gave an unbelievable pregame speech for us that really fired us up. But I tell you, even prior to that, it didn't really matter what anyone said before the game, because anyone who plays in the CFL is going to have aspirations to play in a Grey Cup game, right? You may get there, you may not get there. But when you do get there and you lose on the last play of the game, which we did against Calgary in '98, there's no more motivation needed going into the '99 season. The amount of turnover in the roster that happened in between '98 and '99 was extremely minimal. We almost had the same crew going into '99.
That was always important to try to keep the group together, and not lose too many free agents to other teams.
Yep.
And we'd always lose one or two guys back to the National Football League.
Yeah.
At that time. So it was interesting on that.
Hey,
And
Mike, quick, if I don't mean to throw a shout out there, you want to talk about late season airdrops that happened from the NFL?
Yeah.
We got Joe Mumford coming in on one side. Yeah. We had Tim Terry.
Timmy Terry was a
on
great
the other
pickup
side.
for us. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? It was certainly, a nice little feather in our cap going into the late season, the playoffs, and then certainly the Grey Cup.
I think Joe led the league in sacks that year too. What's that?
Put me back on the mic for 2 seconds. Here's the scoop. This is what it's all about. This ring is 22 years old.
Hey.
And everybody loves it. Right? Everybody's great. But you know what? 22 years is too many fucking years. Let's go Cats! Let's go Cats! Let's go Cats!
Let's go Cats.
Hans, sit down before I snap your teeth. Well, we have one in between. 22 years is too long. Anyways.
Did Coach Lancaster give you a big pep talk before the game? Ron wasn't much for that kind of thing.
No, Ronnie was never big on big speeches. He expected excellence from all of us, as you know. He just knew that we were in that locker room, and the way when he came in 98 with McManus and Flutie, he just knew that he expected if you didn't follow his systems, you weren't going to be around. And during that game, he came in and just said, guys, you know what to do. Walked out the door, and that's all that happened.
Yeah, I can remember it. You guys on the stage after the game, getting the cup from the commissioner, and Ron was just kind of standing off to the side, and I just kind of wandered over, and we looked at each other, gave me a hug, shook hands, and said, "Okay, we did it." We did it. So that was it's one of them thrills of a lifetime, So.
Hey, listen, guys, thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah.
Greg, Corpy, Greg and Grant, roll this joint right
Greg,
now.
Thank you for your
hospitality. Thank you so much of what you've done. Off the charts, dude. We'll talk soon.
Anybody have a question for any one of our? We got one, two, three Hall of Famers here, and many. And Marjorie, you want? We done? What's that? One question. I'm going to do this. Greatest player you played with or against? 1972 team. Here, 1972.
Tim Biebs.
Greatest player you played with or against? Angelo Mosca. We got Garney. Tony.
Garney Henley.
Henley. Greatest player. Bobby. Greatest player you played with or against?
Greatest Canadian right here next to me, and the greatest American, that's him.
Got him right here. Garney Henley and Tony Gabriel. Okay, over here, 86. Greatest player, guys. 80s. Greatest player you played with or against in that Grey Cup year of 86.
Well, we have a lot of great players in Grover Covington and Paul Bennett and Ben Zambiazzi and Dave Sauve, and our defense was amazing, but our offensive line, we had to put a little ragtag bunch of guys together. Jason and I were steady. We had never missed a game, and then we had Dale Sanderson and John Malinowski, but Ralph Schultz stepped up.
Yep.
Ralphie stepped up and played amazing. If anybody wants to watch that 86 Grey Cup, there was nobody better on the O-line than Ralph Schultz that day. And you know what? We did a great job protecting Mike Kerrigan.
Sure
giving him
did.
a good time. And, Dan Huckluck stepped up when Walter Bender got hurt.
Yeah.
And we had Jed Tommy, big head Jed. Jed was a great blocker.
Yeah, Jed had missed the 85 Grey Cup from a broken leg or whatever he had, yeah.
Yeah, so there was a couple of, was there superstars? Steve Stapler was probably as close, and Rocky DiPietro.
And The Rock.
Mike Kerrigan.
Did Rocky leave?
Yeah, Rock left.
Okay.
But, Mike Kerrigan had a great day, even though he didn't complete 50% of his passes that day. Mike was a stud that day. He put the ball in Jelly Roll's hands. So, you know, our guys caught the ball very well that
We've had
day.
a lot of comments on like Facebook and stuff from the Edmonton team from that '86 Grey Cup that were also positive, that they talked how great you played against them and that you really knocked the hell out of them, you know. So.
Well, you know, John Mandrich was a pretty big stud of a defensive tackle for Edmonton, and I'll tell you what, I got a roughing penalty because he threw Marv Alamang down after the whistle by the horse collar, very unceremoniously. So I frickin' just drilled him, and you know, because I always protected my teammates, but I got called for a 15-yard major, but it was worth it because it sent a message to their defense that we meant business and it was a war in the trenches.
It's Paul Gladney.
So then it was hilarious because Miles told me that one of his favorite moments of the '86 Grey Cup was when he was lying on top of Mandrich, and he said, what does your mom think about your rainbow haircut now? And it was 29-0 at the time. So that's a pretty good story.
We went in at halftime 29-0, I think. Yeah. So. Okay. All right. You guys, best player, 99 Grey Cup.
Hey, Mike, I don't mean to hijack your
game.
question, but a second ago it was best you played with and best you played against. And I'd like to say I had the pleasure of having Danny Mack and Damon Allen as my two starting quarterbacks. Damon with BC and Danny with Hamilton. As a receiver, how could you wish for anything better? But I'd also like to say on the other end of the spectrum, I never wanted to go up against Baron Miles, and rarely had to because he was a corner. But we threw a ball to Joe Higgins on 3rd and half a yard. That was basically the play that got us to the 99 Grey Cup in the 99 Eastern Final in Montreal. And Joe Higgins caught a 12-yard pass over top of the best defender in the league to send us to the Grey Cup. And so, yeah, that's my story for best.
I remember Ronnie Williams making a hell of a catch on the sideline late in that game, too. You know,
no doubt, absolutely, and I do not forget that. By the way, my new favorite NFL player is Ron Williams' son.
Yeah, Edward is a, no, what?
Deshaun Williams.
Deshaun Williams.
He's a starter for
Ronnie
the
Williams' son
Denver
plays for
Broncos.
the Denver Broncos. Starter,
Only been cut 11 times, currently a starter, and, enjoying life with the Denver Broncos.
Thanks for that. Drink, Trevor. What do you think there, Rob? Best player?
Best player
Either
I
side?
played against, I would have to say Mike Pringle.
Okay.
One of the toughest running backs ever. Best player that I played with, besides Damon Allen, because
Andrew Grigg.
Damon was very tough as well, but I have to go with Pringle. And my second best player played with D-Mac.
Andrew Grigg.
There you go. Andrew.
Who did you lay out?
This is it. We're running out of time, so we got to wrap her up.
What was the receiver that you laid out? Tyree Davis. Oh my God, that guy, I don't know. Go to sleep. Anyways, favorite player to play with? I don't know. I mean, obviously Danny Mack and I are off the charts friends. Him and I have been together for, as buddies forever. But I also played with Anthony Calvillo for 2 years.
Yes.
I played with Matt Dunnigan for a year. I played with Ricky Foggy. Like, these are names that are crazy names, right? So, I mean, to narrow it down, obviously, because Danny's a friend of mine.
Yeah, you just want to focus more on the Grey Cup.
But I spent all night with Anthony Calvillo last night because Anthony I haven't seen on each other forever. He's just the most accurate passer ever, bar none. And all those guys can take it and swoop it up. But to be honest with you, the toughest player to play against, I'm going to go ahead and say Calvin Siegel when he went to Toronto.
Yeah. Calvin was a monster.
Listen, that was your fault. So at the end of the day, Calvin Tiggle leaves the Cats and goes to Toronto because this guy can't sign him. So at the end of the day, I love you, Mike, like a brother, you know I do. But Calvin Tiggle was the toughest guy I played against. That guy, he just was a machine on defense.
Defensive
Anyways,
player
I'm
of the
just
year.
joking with you.
Defensive player of the year.
He is.
Yeah,
he
that's what
is.
he was.
And well deserved.
He was.
Anyways, thank you,
Yeah,
bro.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay, that's it, folks. We're all done here. Wrap it up. Thank you for being here. Support the End Zone. Great ownership. Drive home safe or wherever you're going from here. Thank you very much. Dave Sobe's over there. I thought you left. You want to get up? Terry Lenny's here. Okay. Everybody have a safe night and a great Grey Cup. Okay?